Welcome to the July 10th Town Board Committee of the Whole meeting. Please rise for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Jeff Renahan, First Ward.
Bill Carlos, Second Ward.
Jessica Lopez, 3rd Ward.
Michael Zafone, 4th Ward.
Matthew Williver, 5th Ward.
Ann Shershen, 6th Ward.
Felicia Salvatore, Town Clerk.
Jim Nelson, attorney for the town.
John Baisley, Town Supervisor. Welcome, everybody. Tonight, we're going to do the Committee of the Whole first. We have 3 presentations for the Committee of the Whole. The first one will be the presentation by the Sewer Department. The second presentation will be Raymond Avenue School Redevelopment. And the third presentation will be Manor Hill Mobile Home. Franco, would you like to come up and start your presentation? For those that don't know, this is an ongoing thing. Every month, our Committee of the Whole, we have a different department head presenting what they've done in the last year and what their goals are for going forward. Just a little bit of a description of what they do in their department on an ongoing basis.
There we go. We're going to turn the lights on.
There it goes.
Yeah, it takes.
We turn those.
There you go.
Looks good over there.
You're good.
You guys see all that? All right, thank you all. Tonight, we're going to give you an overview of the wastewater department. This is our annual report to the town of Poughkeepsie. My name is Frank Rosani. I'm the wastewater collection system supervisor. To my right is Eddie Place, my assistant. To my left is my executive assistant, Sandy Lane. Wastewater collection department is located at 78 Sand Dock Road. Our hours of operations are Sunday through Saturday, 7 to 3. Our office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. And we're on call 24/7 for all sewer emergencies. You can call that number there and it rolls over to my cell after hours. Sewer department overview. Staff, our facts, daily operational duties, map the sewer district, our pump stations, sewer main pipes, sanitary manhole structures, department goals, and pictures. You can see by that manhole cover there that we date back to 1957. This is the structure of our department. So it would be myself at the top, then Eddie would be my assistant, Sandy, and then the sewer maintenance mechanics. There's 10 total in the department. Facts, we were established in 1959. We are sanitary system only. We are not combined with storm. Our collection system feed 3 different treatment plants: town, city wastewater treatment plant, city of Poughkeepsie, 100% of Arlington wastewater treatment plant, tri-municipal wastewater treatment plant, and there are 100 miles of sewer main, and we're growing. Our daily operational duties in the collection system are pump stations. We check and clean, maintain, and repair. Our repairs are minor to major overhauls of floats, pumps, motors, electrical, check valves, gate valves. We respond to station alarms, dig safe markouts, mark out all your sewer utility. Last month, Tommy gave you a report that we were at about 1,500. As of this month, we're approaching about 2,000 markouts for the year, and they keep coming in every day. We vac and clean out the wet wells monthly or as needed of rags and grease. Upkeep to the pump station's property, mowing, snow plowing, tree work, planting. There's easement upkeep for accessibility. Basically, it's mowing. And we flush sewer mains, grease traps of grease, rags, and roots. And this is continued. Our daily operational duties and inspections to the sewer laterals, new and repaired. We review, commercial, and comment to new projects that are being considered for addition to the sewer system, inspections, testing, and new construction of pump stations, sewer laterals, and grease traps. We repair manhole structures, frames, risers, and covers. We respond to residents' complaints. We video sewer mains for potential problems. Excavation and repair as needed. There's trenchless repairs, save us a lot of money to sewer mains, and we assist water and highway as needed with equipment and manpower, and we respond to emergency after-hours calls. At this point, I want to reach out and thank Mark Pfeiffer. Keith's not here, but Tommy's here. I want to thank them for all the help with the 3 departments. We all work together to do what we need to do, save taxpayers a lot of money. Here's our sewer collection system. If I had to blow this map up, it wouldn't fit on the screen, but you can see to the top, I think it's outlined in green. In blue. That's Fourth Ward sewer. That all goes to the city sewer plant. What's outlined in red is 100% of the Arlington Sewer District, and down towards the bottom, outlined in purple, is what sewer goes to Tri-Muni. Here's a list of our pump stations. We have them broken down by north side and south side. The proposed that we're looking to take over this year are going to be Lutheran Care, Eastdale, and Forsons, which is on hold right now. Here's the date, the name of the pump stations again, and the date that they were installed, and they actually date back to 1959. They're as old as I am, 60 years old. The reason why they're that old and still up and running is because we maintain them, clean them, and repair them every day. Some of the pump station types are flooded suction, pressure jack, vacuum lift, and grinder. Pump stations are monitored, 75% are alarmed and monitored 24/7 through Doyle Security. When their alarm comes in, what they do is they call and we dispatch a crew to go take care of the stations. 75% have standby generators, and there are 3 portable generators on standby at the treatment plant if needed. Types of alarms are AC power failure, AC restore, generator start, generator stop, high water, and high water restore. So we get, if there's ever an alarm, that's what they're going to call us out on, and we respond to those alarms. Types of sewer main pipe in a road, there's clay, asbestos cement, SDR, which you guys know is green plastic, PVC. Size of the sewer mains range from 6 to 36 inch. Size of homeowner and commercial laterals range from 4 to 8 inch. Types of sanitary manhole structures in our system: brick, block, and precast. Precast being the newest, brick being the oldest, and block. A number of sanitary manholes in our system of 100 miles or 2,831 that we're responsible for. Sewer department problems facing is weather, rain, snow, flooding. History in this area is we can handle 1 inch of rain up to the first 3 hours. After that, stuff starts flooding. Sump pumps, residential sump pumps hooked to the system. They're actually illegal. They should not be hooked to the system. We'll work with the homeowner to direct them how to get it off the system. The other problems that we deal with are grease, roots, and rags. Goals of the department: to remove and eliminate I&I, infiltration and inflow from the system, which is continuing. It's just groundwater that enters, and there's a cost to treat that groundwater. If we get it out of the system, it'd be a lot less money that we'd have to spend to treat it, and to continue to upgrade and replace pump stations as needed. We've been working on a DEC consent order, thanks to Jim, since 2012, Jim? And this
At
is the
least it
last,
seems like,
and this
yeah.
is the last year of our DEC consent order. We were issued a consent order to remove the I&I off the system from Hagentown and Arlington sewer service areas. We were successful in negotiating a 5-year plan for remediation of sewer with DEC, with milestones to be met and reports to be to the DEC on progress. If you want copies of those reports, they're all down in engineering, good reading material. There's volumes of them. Here's our 5-year plan. Manhole inspections were performed in the Arlington and Hagentown sewer service areas, identifying the problems with leaking structures and/or pipes and structures. We televised those systems to identify issues with the mains, broken pipes, leaking lateral taps. We correlated all the work with engineering and performed a plan set in place for excavation of sewer mains to be repaired or replaced, full pipe linings, which some of you saw, which we did over here around the corner. We're currently still doing trenchless pipe repairs, which save us a lot of money. Manhole pressure injections to keep the water out of the manhole structures themselves. And we're engineering for replacement and upgrade of the Hagentown pump stations, which you guys will be presented shortly, and engineering and replacement for the upgrade of the Spackenpool pump station, which is due in 2020. To date, we have successfully removed 400,000 gallons of dry weather flow off the system. Here's some typical pump stations that we have in our area. What you're looking at is an E1 grinder pump. The Simplex pump is just a 1-pump system. That would be a residential type. And there's a cut sheet of how the pump station looks. So that you could put at your residence, and there's a 1.5-inch force main that would be connected to a system if you were downhill, if you couldn't get gravity to the sewer system. This is a duplex commercial pump, grinder pump. We have two of these. As you know, one is up at Walgreens on 44, and the other one is right next door at Vera's Pizza for the two lots. And their force mains are actually 2,500 feet long, and they pump all the way up to the Arlington Hunt Pump Station on Barnes Drive. This is a typical grinder pump mounted wet well type station. You'll see the pump down at the bottom. The wet well would be up to grade. You'll see the float controls there. The lowest float operates the pump off, and then it's just controls. When they tip the floats, the pump works by itself. You got your control box, your electric panel, and generator hookup all up top on the ground. Here is a Smith & Loveless pump station at Sunset Avenue. This was retrofitted by our department. Took about 22 hours. What we did is we took a can station, which you'll see further along in the slides, and we actually cut out the guts of the station, and we used the whole chamber to retrofit as a wet well instead of ripping that out and putting a precast concrete one in. And then what we did is we retrofitted it with that Yusemco pump station, which you see there, and that is located at Sunset Avenue. There was a lot of problems with the pressure jack station there that it couldn't keep up with the flow, so we decided to put vacuum primed in it. We upgraded all the electric, and we actually added, you can see there on the third slide there where you can hook up for a generator if their power ever went out for a long time. This is a Smith & Loveless vacuum prime station. Pretty much what it is underneath the pumps is the wet well, so the wet well's on the ground. They can only lift up to 20 feet. Some of the pump stations, some of the wet wells, you can lift up to 20 feet, but they're 25 feet deep. Everything is above ground, so it's easy to service. There's the pumps, motors, volutes, all the controls, everything else. This is the Yusemco pump station, typically the same as Smith & Loveless. This is just sitting on the factory floor. So basically what you do is you take this pump station and you set it right over the top of the wet well, connect your two suction pipes, your discharge pipes, and your electric, and you're ready to go. This is one of our older stations. This is called a Smith & Loveless DuoJect. The way the station works, at the bottom of the slide, there's the pot, and you'll see the flow goes into the pot. Once the pot gets filled up, being a DuoJect, it has two electrodes, and it has two sides, two pumps to discharge. What it is it's pressure eject. The middle chamber you have there that have all the valves in it, that's a mechanical chamber. It's also called the air chamber. The compressor's on the top, pressurize the second chamber. When the flow in the bottom chamber gets filled up, the clock, it ignites the electrode, which sets off a clock at a predetermined time, and it ejects up the stream, up the hill. I want to show you right there. See on the top that chamber, you'll see the two red at the bottom of the floor. That's the access hatch. Anybody with bigger than a 36-inch waist isn't getting down there, and we have to service. Right in there's 4 check valves, 4 gate valves, and they do wear out. So we do have to go down there, cut them out, and replace them. These go anywhere from 15 feet to 30 feet in the ground. This is the inside of a flooded suction station. Basically, the way the flooded suction station works is the pumps are set way down in the ground, and the flow is at the same level as the bottom of the volutes. But you see, you have to climb down in there to do any of the service work. This basically is a diagram of how sewer flows. Contractors will come in and they'll build developments, and at the low part, what they'll do is that's where they'll put the pump station. So everything is gravity in, and it has to be forced out or pumped out. This is more intricate, shows basically stormwater, shows breaking a pipe, some industry. This is what we deal with here, and this is actually the flow from your home all the way to the treatment plant and back to the river. Now we get to the good stuff. This is what we deal with every day. I love this slide. I found this, I had to put it up. This is what we don't do. You can fry your chicken, but you don't want to put the grease down because that's what it does to your sewer ladder. And we get a lot of calls for backups, and it's usually because of grease. We deal with a lot of grease in the system, especially with all the restaurants. We'll show you a little video of what happens.
Oh, it's not, it won't.
Won't
No
load?
internet or something.
We got no internet?
I don't know, guess not.
If not, we can skip it. Oh, we don't have to go Wi-Fi.
Mark's here. Mark, do we have internet?
Yeah. Where's the Wi-Fi? It's on the wall.
Cannot locate.
Cannot locate the internet server. Nice. And welcome to my world. All right, we'll skip that. Basically, what it was a sewer clog and a sewer lateral that entered a manhole. And it actually shows you what we have to deal with when it actually pushes the grease out. It makes a mess.
Oh,
You want to see the video?
Comfortable with that.
This is what we deal with on a day-to-day basis. This is stuff that you're not supposed to flush down your toilet. What you see on the left is that's a clogged impeller on one of those vacuum prime stations. Once that impeller gets clogged, it will not pump anything. What you're looking at on the right is you're looking at a grinder pump somewhere in all those rags, and they're not flushables. They tell you they're flushables, but they're not. Somewhere inside the middle of those rags, after all those rags are cut off, there's a grinder pump in there.
Wow.
Can anybody tell me what's on the left? What's that look like? What's my guy Lenny holding there? What's it look like?
No. Looks like a dead deer.
Does it look like a deer?
yeah.
See on the right? It's all roots. That was cut out this year at a manhole at Vassar College.
Wow.
The root he's got was down in the manhole?
Yep. You have to enter the manhole, and we have to go down and cut the roots out. And that's Lenny. That is actually what the roots look like after he pulled it out, and I had to use that picture because it actually looks like a deer. But if you look on the back of the rack body truck, there's probably about 400 pounds of roots in there. When we were all done with just with that one manhole. It's on the easement through Vassar College. Here's a broken sewer pipe that we just repaired. If you see the barrel on Haight Avenue and Fairmont, the intersection, what happens is when the arterial was put through 30 years ago, they ran storm drain from Main Street to the arterial. And what I'm holding in my hand is the original patch. If you look at the slide to the left, it's a hole in the pipe where they broke through putting a storm drain in, and you can see the two stainless steel bands.
Try the video?
Yeah, try to play that one.
Oh, wait, let me go.
All right.
Oh.
This is. You're going back.
Andy, calm down.
You're fired.
We're having technical difficulties here.
Okay, hold on.
Which one you gonna go back to, that one?
Oh, yeah, do you want to put the video on?
Yeah,
See if it works?
yeah, see if it works. That's the original patch.
Wow.
That's how they fixed the sewer line 30 years ago, and it wore out. You can still see the stainless steel bands. Even doing a trenchless pipe repair, it took us 8 hours to beat those rocks out of there, and then I couldn't get the stainless steel bands to push up into the pipe to get the bladder through. What happens is we're pulling the bladder through, it would have bound up the material. So what we had to do is we actually had to do an excavation, and even to cut that out, if I tried to cut that out, those steel bands are wrapped around the sewer main, and being transite pipe, it probably would have ripped the sewer main out, and I probably would have lost my grinder. And then I would have had to dig it up that time. What we did is we regrouped, and then we went back, and next day what we did is we went and did an excavation. You'll see on the next slides what we did. That's what we pulled out. If you see at the slide on the left, see the void near the block? What they did is when they put the storm drain through, they overdug and put that hole in the manhole, or in the sewer pipe. But what they did is they casted the sewer main through the storm drain. So what we did is we had to knock all that block out of, chisel all that block out of there, cut the sewer pipe out, replace it with SDR plastic, 2 Ferncos, and then we had to concrete the top of the storm drain. And if you look real close to the slide on the right, you'll actually see the old transite pipe. You'll see there's 2 pieces of transite. The piece on the top, towards the top, see how thick it is? Look at the piece that's down on the bottom. It's onion skin. That's what happens when sewer pipe wears out. It wears out from the inside out. And that's when you deal with a collapse. Because if you look, and why I use this, our sewer is so old that at today's standards, when the sewer line's put in, there's all good fill put in, usually sand, item 4. what they did when this sewer line was put in, probably dates back to the late 50s, is they dug a trench, threw the pipe in, backfilled with whatever they took out. And that's what we deal with on a daily basis. But that's our final repair right there. Here's roots in the sewer main before, and then after we did a trenchless repair. This is using the fiberglass liner. What we did is we cut all the roots out. You can see at the slide on the left that actually the bottom of the pipe, there's a square there, there's no pipe there. And then when we got done with it and the liner's there, it's all perfect except for the little void, because it's called an offset joint. There's nothing we could do with that except dig it up. To dig it up, for us to dig up pipe costs us anywhere from $2,500 to $3,000. To do this trenchless pipe repair costs us about $600.
Okay.
This is Smith & Loveless Pump Station at North Grand Avenue. This is actually the second pump station ever built by Smith & Loveless, and we own it. What we had to do is we actually had to lift the pump station up off the wet well. This is vacuum prime station. And what we had to do is all the check valves and the gate valves, the check valve you'll see on the right, you can actually see at the bottom of the check, you can see right through there. That's wore out. Once that wears out, that station will not hold vacuum, and you won't be able to pull anything out. So what we did is we had to cut out about 400 pounds worth of check valves and plug valves and replace them all, which you'll see. You can see all the parts in the middle that are in the middle slide on the ground there. You can see there's a check valve from the side view. They're the parts we cut out on the left, and that's what we had to install on the right, all brand new. And that pump station's 60 years old. This is what I encountered plowing snow in late March. I came upon Hagentown Pump Station, and there's a tree down on our pump station. So we cut the tree out. We removed it, and the only damage was to the top of the cabinet, and that was it. Minimal. 1 month later, tree on the other side goes down. We found out early in the morning, and that's what happens. This one took out the fence. This is the pump station that's in the floodplain on the Casper Hill that's going to be replaced. There's the roots on the tree.
Wow.
So in a matter of month, 2 trees, one on each side of the pump station came down, but very minimal damage. This is what we deal with on a daily basis. That's it. All right. Any questions?
Nice presentation, Franco.
Franco. Franco, just want to reiterate what you were saying. You said you saved 400,000 gallons by doing all these repairs. But with all these sump pumps, people have to understand what you're saving. A matter of 50 or 60 houses could put that 400,000 gallons back into the system. How important it is not to use your sump pump to put into our system, because not only are you overflowing the systems during a rainstorm, but we're also treating basic rainwater. So it's the other importance that the residents understand how important it is not to be using sump pumps and putting them down their drains.
Yes, what we will do is, because we work for the resident, we will work with the resident. If they want to call us and we'll show them how to take the sump pump off and run it to a storm drain or run it to a lower side of their property. Most of the problems that the homeowner has is their footing drains. Everything that comes off the footing drains, their gutters are tied into the footing drains, and once footing drains stop working, everything backs up into the house. If you took your leaders off your house and ran them 10 feet away from the house downhill, that gets away most of your problems with your water coming off your roof and into your basement. The rest you can deal with, you just pump out and just pump the lower part of your property or tie it into a storm drain. But what you're looking at with some pumps is, even though we took off 400,000 during a major rainstorm, we're dealing with millions.
And I also want to thank your employee, Mr. Riley, in the back there for showing up. Thanks for coming. Next presentation, Raymond Avenue School. Can you beat the last one? Good
Hi.
evening. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
I'm Amy Bombardieri from the Chazen Companies, representing the project. This is Jacob Breckus. And Richard Cantor, also representing. So I'm not sure exactly when the last time you saw this was, but there's been some changes to the site plan. Right now, we have two 7-story buildings in the rear they each have 88 apartment units in it. There's, both on the first level is underground parking, or under-building parking. Two buildings in the front, buildings A and B, each have 8 apartment units on the second floor and about 7,500 square feet of commercial space on the first floor in each building. Building D is the 110-room hotel. That's a 5-story building. And Building E is a 2-story on the southeast side of the parcel. And it's about 4,500 square feet with 4 apartments on the second floor and commercial on the first floor. And we've been dealing with the planning board, and we have a sign-off from SHPO. I handed the letter of resolution to Felicia earlier, and the DOT concerns are met. And we're currently working with the fire department to make sure that we are utilizing the correct fire suppression system to address their life safety concerns. And the planning board, at their last meeting, recommended that this project come back to the town board and that a negative declaration be issued.
On your agenda for later this evening is a resolution which we hope you will elect to adopt, which sets a public hearing for the zoning amendment for August 21 and asks staff to prepare a negative declaration for your consideration.
Thank you. You have anything to say, Jacob, or no?
I think they said it well. I just want to continue to thank everybody here for supporting and helping us through this process. And in particular, it took a while to get through the state agencies and to address all their concerns. I want to thank everybody from the town board, town planning staff, also Assemblywoman Dee Dee Barrett's office helped out. So really thank you all.
Good. Anybody here on the board have any questions at this time?
I did have a question, a parking question. Are you going to have any studio apartments?
No.
Okay. I just noticed that the parking was
Thank you.
yes, and it didn't make sense, so I figured I would ask. But if there's no
No.
studios, then it's moot
1
anyhow.
bedroom, 2 bedrooms.
Perfect, okay.
And how many parking spaces do you currently have in it?
There's 332 on the site. So there's a deficit of 14 spaces, but because of the alternating peak hours of the different uses, that can be accommodated, commercial, residential issues, so.
Okay.
Anybody got any other questions? No? Thanks.
Thank you.
Not as interesting as Sue.
Manor Hill?
Good evening, Richard Cantor again, being in Constantino. To my immediate right is Bob Giuliano, who's one of the principals, and to his right is Christian Paggi of Paggi Engineering, who are the project engineers. We are looking for you, after we go through the necessary stages of procedure, to change the zoning on the project from its current R20 zoning to RMH zoning. Currently, there is an existing mobile home park known as Manor Hill, and the owners of Manor Hill own a vacant parcel directly abutting, and they are hoping to add 18 new units, principally 3 bedrooms, perhaps several 2-bedroom apartments, units rather. And so the specific action that we're looking for, again, when we satisfy the necessary procedures, is a requested change in zone. The planning board is the lead agency. If we get your approval to change the zoning designation, we will need to go to the zoning board. We are going to ask for several area variances for open space and setback. Christian can tell you more to the extent you would like to know more about the details, and we will also need to go to the planning board for site plan approval and special permit approval. One of the tasks, I think, one of the technical tasks is for you to appoint a conflict attorney. It's my understanding that both Mr. Nelson and Ms. Cobb have recused themselves. And so the town board and the planning board need a conflict attorney to take the role that Mr. Nelson or Ms. Cobb would ordinarily take. I don't know if there's a regular town of Poughkeepsie conflict attorney or if it just gets done one at a time, but however you choose to do it, we ask that you do appoint a conflict attorney. Christian can tell you a lot more than I can tell you about the project, and Bob as well. Again, it's 18 mobile home units. The contemplation is that a 3-bedroom unit would be purchased by a homeowner somewhere in the $160,000 to $165,000 range to own the unit, and that a 2-bedroom unit could be purchased in the approximate amount of $140,000. The rent for each mobile home lot would be $600 a month, which includes not only placing the home on the property, but includes management of the park, garbage removal, payment of real estate taxes, and maintenance of common areas. In this day and age, those are certainly, compared to the reality of what's out there, reasonable prices that can be afforded by many people who we all know, people who are downsizing, or people who simply want to live in this kind of housing. There are different words. Some of them have sub-meanings, but we have no sub-meaning here. This is, in reality, for this area, affordable housing without asking for any subsidies of any kind. The existing mobile home park has had a sanitary sewer problem. Its system was threatening to fail. You, as a town board, in your wisdom, approved a tenancy agreement so that the existing mobile home park can connect to the city-town system. An easement has been granted, and the connecting pipe is in process to solve that health problem. With that, I'm going to turn it over briefly to Christian and Bob to add whatever they think is appropriate to add.
Good evening. My name is Christian Paggi. Just to touch on a few things that Richard didn't talk about. Really, we're here tonight to just bring the board up to speed on the application. We were before the board in 2017, November of 2017, when we initiated this process for a rezone. Since then, the issue of the sanitary sewer with the existing park became more of an urgent issue, which we needed to address kind of immediately. So this project has kind of just been on the back burner while we address the sewer issue, which involved getting an approval for a tenancy agreement and working with the health department for that new gravity main from the existing park to North Grand Avenue. So that has been approved, as Richard said, and the gravity line is actually under construction right now. So we're here tonight just to bring the board up to speed. There's been some changes to the site plan. Also, we went through one round of review with the planning department, the planning board. They declared their intent to act as lead agent and provided some initial round of comments. It was determined that there were some environmental concerns relative to wetlands or also zoning concerns. So the new layout shows 18 proposed units versus the 22 units that we originally presented to the board. So that is a change. So aside from just updating the board, it was just to make sure that the board was aware that there were changes from what was originally presented, and to see if there were any concerns with that. The project is proposed to be served by municipal water from the connection of to the existing main in North Grand Avenue, and there will be a new access from North Grand into this site, that access road will continue through to the existing park and eventually to Van Wagner Road. Unless the board has any questions, I'll turn it over to Bob Giuliano, the project manager.
Hello, everyone, again, thank you. We put, I don't know, some new board members, but the old board members, and we'll be all together on this. We're doing, we like the word, I don't like the word mobile homes, but these are manufactured homes, and they're double wides. Did anybody see the film that we put out, the little disc we gave everyone? Everybody seen that? Yep. Them homes are 7-on-12 roofs. They're very different than a mobile home. And they're not considered mobile homes. Since June of 1976, the HUD arrangement. By the way, I got licensed in HUD recently, so it's kind of interesting. Changed the term mobile home to manufactured home. So these homes are going to be a 28 feet, they call them 28 feet wide, and they're going to be a maximum of 68 foot long, and the roof's going to match those of you who watched the video, is going to match the area with, the other homes around it. I'm not talking about the manufactured homes, I'm talking about the homes that are built. So these roofs are pretty high, and all these homes will have an attic also. So they'll also have an attic with pull-down stairs. With a floor, a complete floor, so you could store things in the attic. There's going to be windows on each side. These are not going to look like mobile homes because they're not. And also, there's going to be no, how normal mobile homes have decks on the side? We're not going to have that. The decks are going to be on the front and the back from the manufacturer. So we're going to have like an 8-foot deck in the front and a 6-foot deck in the back with the width of the home. So they're going to look pretty nice. And each home will have a shed, and the lawns around the home will be like Christian said, will be all maintained by us. We're going to maintain everything in the park. So it's going to be kind of like you buy the home, you come in, you don't pay taxes, you pay lot rent, which is about $600 a month, and you're basically going to have a beautiful home, downsized. Most people will want these because they're downsizing homes, and we see that. The inside of these homes are absolutely gorgeous. I mean, they're tiled showers. It's really a top-end home, really a top-end home. And people need that here. So I'm hoping, originally I wanted 22 of them, but we had some wetland issues, so I couldn't get that. So we're down to 18 with some minor variances, and I hope you give us them. And agree to that and change that zoning to and the board, they still call it mobile homes, zoning, MH. I hope that would be totally acceptable because we have 65 homes now that are in the park, and we're upgrading the park all the time. Let me give you a little what we did to the park. Originally, when we bought this park, the sewer system was substandard. It did not have proper sewers. The inflow and infiltration, the I&I, was horrendous. So which Franco talked about before about inflow and infiltration to the sewer system. John mentioned the sewer pumps that are in the in homes, a lot of homes. So we eliminated, number one, we spent over $365,000 of putting new sewer systems in the original old park. So there'll be no I&I in that park, guarantee you that. The other thing is the new section is all going to be brand new sewers as well, of course, going to with a gravity feed line going down from Van Wagner Road to North Grand Avenue. So, is there any questions? If you've seen the video, if you've seen the, I don't know, what do you call it a video? The disc? If you could, I don't know, I'm not too smart in that. But I kind of did it, but.
Could you explain a little bit about the setbacks the variance you're looking for and the setbacks? So I'd like to know from
Okay, Mike.
any existing homes that will be looking at the view. We talked about screenage and all that, so with the new change, could you explain that a little bit?
Yes.
Sure. Do you want to talk about it? No. So the variances that we would be looking for, one involves open space. There's a requirement in the supplemental regulations for open space to be provided in a mobile home park, and that requirement is 10% of the gross land area. That would equate to around 24,000 square feet of open space. Just due to the shape of this lot, that's just difficult to achieve that amount of area. If you were to use the 24,000 square foot of open space and do a density calculation, we would still be way under the allowable density on the lot with 22 homes. So we would be allowed 23 homes, even incorporating a 24,000 square foot open space, just based on the shape of the lot. They're kind of longer lots. It's just difficult to manage that 24,000 square feet of open space. So that's one variance. The layout that's shown now provides 15,000 square feet of open space, and we would be providing. We were going to be discussing with the planning board and the town board and the ZBA what they'd like to see for mitigation, but preliminarily we discussed providing like park amenities on the adjacent lot in the existing septic system area that's going to be abandoned. There's going to be an open field there, so providing a park-like amenity, sport court or park benches, stuff like that as mitigation that could be used for the new lot. For setbacks, the only setbacks that we may need, and we may not even need to go for any setback variances, but the setbacks that we may look for are setbacks to the new access road from these new mobile homes. We wouldn't be looking for any relief for setbacks to adjacent residential area or to the rail trail. Those are all going to be, there's a 50-foot setback requirement from the residential side on the west side where Grand Meadows is, and then there's a 30-foot setback to the rail trail. Those would be maintained and screened. The one setback we may ask for is relief from the 25-foot setback to an access road, which is a requirement in the supplemental regs. The standard regulations for the RMH district in the zoning table calls for 10 feet. So depending on how the stormwater really lays out, if we're able to pinch that 25 feet setback to the access road down to, split the difference between 10 and 25, it might provide additional room for us to provide stormwater, landscaping and screening and such. So,
But just so that we're clear, the direct answer to part of your question, Mike, is no, will not be asking for variances for setbacks from neighboring homes.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yeah, and there'll also be screening between the neighboring homes.
Well,
Absolutely.
Yeah, we talked about all that.
Yeah, remember the trees. Yeah, we're going to keep, a lot of trees are there now, and we're going to keep them there.
Okay.
It's a beautiful project, let me tell you.
So if there aren't any questions, we thank you for this opportunity to refresh those who've been here and to inform those who are new. We're going to be back at the planning board, and you'll see us again, we hope with a negative declaration, and we hope with a recommendation in favor of the zoning change from the planning board.
We'll look it over, have the board look at it and get back to you. Has anybody got any other questions?
I do. So my ears certainly perked, Rich, when you mentioned that it was going to be affordable housing, because $600 a month is definitely extremely affordable. But then it seemed later on that you buy the unit and then you pay a $600 a month fee, like an HOA fee. Correct. So they're not rental units that will be available for $600 a month.
The $600 pays the lease for the land, it pays their share of real estate taxes, pays their share of maintenance of the roadways and common areas.
Okay. But right, I just wanted to be clear, because it seemed at first like you were saying that there were rental units available.
No.
But then later
I
it
clearly
became,
indicated the sales price of these units.
yeah.
So you have the 600 a month and you have a mortgage on top of that.
Right, you're paying, right, you're buying a house and then you're paying a monthly fee. Correct,
But
yeah.
keep in mind, everybody, that when you buy a house, you also have taxes, right? You pay your taxes. These $600 not only includes the maintenance of the property, garbage removal, road maintenance, but it also includes the taxes. So that's one less thing that makes it affordable when you can, first place, you can get a house between 145 and 165,000 and don't have to have the tax bill with it. That's a big thing for the people, and especially downsizing people, that are coming to downsize.
It's also been the Botini experience that many of the people who choose to live in these facilities and who we're using the term downsizing, are selling the family home and often simply buy these for cash. And so in many cases, there is no mortgage. They're still paying for it.
I just wanted to make, I'm not saying that it's not, takes away that it's still affordable. I just wanted to be clear.
Did you
on
look
what I
at
was
the
looking for.
video?
I did.
Good.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it? I'm just curious.
It was nice.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, no, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
So you don't have to own a
Certainly.
lawnmower if you live there?
Excuse me?
You don't have to own a lawnmower if you live there?
That's right.
Felicia's moving in.
That's right. I know. That's what makes it so great.
Bob's out there cutting the grass.
Yeah, we're trying something completely different than a standard manufactured home park. I like in that video, if you see it, I said they're not mobile homes, they're manufactured parks.
Will you
Okay.
plant all the flowers as well? Or
Excuse me?
nothing, I'm just kidding.
Anybody else got any questions?
What is the separation between the units?
Yeah.
In between, so I believe it's a 10-foot setback required to those individual lot lines. So there'll be at least 20 feet in between the building envelope.
Like
As
from
it's
exterior
shown,
wall to exterior wall?
I believe what we're showing is around 30 feet, but it's a 10-foot setback from the side yard. So, but with the width of these units and the way that the lots lay out, it's around 30 feet, I believe.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen. We'll get back to you. That brings us to the end of our presentations. Committee reports? Finance?
Nothing to report.
Fire advisory?
No report?
Government operations?
Nothing to report.
Land use and planning?
Comprehensive Planning Review Committee.
Bill?
The Comprehensive Planning Review Committee has been pretty active with monthly meetings. We're at the point where we'll be doing RFPs for a vendor to actually write the report. Ann's on the committee with us. And it's gone on a significant logical steps for government that's not usual. Every one of the entities that has concern over planning for the next 10 years has sat with us and talked. Not like a presentation, but a conversation with the different committee members. And the 9 people on the committee, I'll take myself out of this. The 8 people on the committee, very smart, all intuitive, and all are concerned about our town looking forward. So I think the work product that'll come out of the end of this will really be great. I know the people are working very hard. They don't know it yet, but the hardest part is coming. To sit and actually go through this and do it. The end result will be a plan that'll come back to the town board for your review and for our input to the plan. But I'm very pleased with the way it's gone, with the level of work that's being done. All the people that have come in to talk to us have been top draw. All 4 of the school superintendents, the fire districts, the police, every one of the entities that is involved in the management of the town over the next 10 years, we've talked to. And if you want to go to the town's webpage, you can, and you can click under the Comprehensive Plan Review Committee, see the minutes, the comments, who spoke, where they spoke, and I think you'd be pretty pleased. All of you who have to pay the bills in this town, pretty pleased with the direction that we're looking at for the next 10 years. And that's my report. That's our report.
Personnel?
Yes, we been conducting some interviews for the police chief as well as police captain. Also, and you'll see in our agenda items today, we did hire a deputy building inspector as well as hired a building department clerk.
Before I forget, Jan, recreation?
Recreation. Yes, and our new secretary, Paula Ciliano, is on the job, and she's catching on very quickly. So Rec has a new secretary, and we're very pleased with that. And for the capital improvement projects, happy to report that the basketball court improvements are completely done. And they've done playground resurfacing on 3 out of the 8 parks. That'll be done this week, so they're showing good progress on that. There's been a little setback, though, on the Greenvale bathroom due to the camp. They just decided, and getting all the pieces together to do that, they're not going to get started on that until camp is done, and that's probably the prudent way to go. And then the Overrocker playground, that construction is going to be beginning on that next month, so that's moving ahead too. And in the day camp, we've had 823 camper weeks, which is more than last year, but if your children still want to go to camp, there's still room to sign up, so that's still available. We have 4 concerts left on the Tuesday concert series, and they are at 7 o'clock on Tuesday at Greenville Park, and if it's raining, then they move to the senior center. And as far as our seniors goes, their next bus trip is on this month, the 23rd, and it's sold out already, and it's steam trade and a riverboat trip, so they're very excited about that. And Dutchess County Senior Picnic for town of Poughkeepsie is July 31st at noon at Bowden Park. And then the town is going to have our senior picnic. It's called the End of Year Picnic this year. It's going to be August 15th at the Senior Center, and it's going to be Bring a Dish to Pass. And the last thing is, last night, our 11-year-old Cal Ripken team won the Southeast New York State Championship. So, yay, way to go. And they wanted me to remind you to follow the Town Rec on Twitter, and it's called called Poughkeepsie Rec, all one word. So I don't know how to Twitter, but you follow Twitter. Yeah, I do Instagram, so. And that's everything.
And then along the line, I want to thank the Recreation Department again for the phenomenal job with them and Cal Ripken and Poughkeepsie Girls Softball, who all had tournaments this weekend, and the compliments on the conditions of the fields and the parks in general.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of comments, and I think Brian and his team this year did a great job out there. Water, sewer, highway.
Water, sewer, and highway, you saw the presentation from the sewer department. The committee is not going to meet because we don't want to take the key people away from the work they have during the best summer work period. So we won't meet again until September. And the work that these people do, all 3 of the departments, just absolutely amazing. But there will be nothing now for no report until the September meeting.
Okay. My report, this month we had a senior roundtable, which we have monthly over the seniors to discuss their concerns, whether it's with the senior center, anything going on in the town, anything we can help them, any directions we can point the seniors in general. Myself, Jeff, and Ann all attended the Special Olympics opening ceremony, which I think it was an honor for Dutchess County to hold the Special Olympics there this year, and they're going to be back again next year. I think the support they got from some of the local organizations, Cal Ripken was there, and a couple other sports organizations in uniform to cheer the athletes on, and just some of the local representatives that you saw in the crowd. I think they did a great job, and thank everybody in the county for the welcome and Dutchess County Tourism for the job they did on getting them going in there. We held our monthly construction progress meetings. Our I&I meetings, as Franco has discussed, is an ongoing project. Keep taking the I&I down. Our next big pump station is Hagentown. We're still waiting for an okay from a grant on that. We attended the Hudson 7 meeting in Rhinebeck this month. We've been going to different plants to see how their water plants are run and see if there's anything we can do with our staff and their staff to save money and better our plants. Besides what the interviews that the Personnel Committee did, a set of interviews with the building inspectors for clerk position downstairs and their building inspector position. And also, myself, Mike Welty, and Ann sat in on Climate Smart Task Force interviews, which will hopefully tonight will be appointing people to that. We've been working with the Arlington Bid on different projects in Arlington Bid and getting ready for the street fair and their holiday parade. And we have the flags ordered for Hometown Heroes. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, if you're going to Arlington, look up, you can see some of our local Hometown Heroes up on the banners, thanking them for their service as a vet. We attended a joint water meeting with myself and Bill Carlos. We held our monthly department head meeting, which they go very well. We have a great interface with all the departments, as you've heard over the last couple of months, that they work very well together. And just the fact that they're talking amongst each other and things they see out in the field that they can bring back and pass on to the other ones. And this morning, working with Dutchess County Tourism, today and yesterday, they had Rally North America, which is a fundraising rally, which they go a scavenger hunt. They started in Watkins Glen yesterday, and they're going to Concord, Massachusetts. They started yesterday, and 85 vehicles came, and it's a fundraising. The one that raises the most money starts the first. If anybody saw them, they were on College View Avenue this morning, and last night they finished up. Dyson Racing opened up his garage for everybody to come out, being a lot of these guys are car enthusiasts, and Millbrook Wineries and a brewery and Farm to Table were all there to welcome them to Dutchess County, and we had a great turnout this morning. Thank the police department for getting the roads ready and the residents that came out and actually welcomed them on and cheered them on as they took off today to move on to their next location. And they commented how they were so happy that Dutchess County welcomed them the way they did. Some towns they go, they want to charge them to close the street for an hour and things. And they said Dutchess County was definitely one of the better places and the better places to visit and the things they had to offer here. They were leaving this morning, they were going to Vanderbilt and Roosevelt, and then they're going on from there to do their scavenger hunt. So it was a pretty good event to see. It's just something different. All these little things add up into big things that we can offer our residents, and it definitely was a good morning for some of the businesses out there, being open early to see some of the racers and other spectators going over to visit the businesses. That's all we have for our committee reports. So we'd like to go on to our town board meeting. First thing on our town board meeting will be to accept the retirement of Jeannie Lewis, senior clerk with the town police department. The second on our agenda will be the retirement of Kathleen Tabor. The third will be the retirement of Timothy Berger from the highway department. The fourth will be set a date for public hearing, Raymond Avenue School redevelopment. Fifth will be set a date, public hearing for property maintenance for 34 Gentry Boulevard. Number 6 is the same for 238 Ennis Avenue. 7 is the same for 1 Diane Court. 8 is the same for 147 Fulton Street. 9 is accept the certificate of attendance of Carl Whitehead. 10, authorize the county of Dutchess for snow and ice control. It's a shared service we do with Dutchess County. 11 is approved some private names for Hudson Heritage Development. 12, award for residential mowing to Tancredi Landscaping to maintain the lawns that we were discussing prior that are not being maintained by the homeowner. 13, authorize a Hudson 7 grant application as a shared service. 14, appoint and establish a Climate Smart Communities Task Force. 15, set a date for a public hearing of Dutchess Dodge zoning amendment. 16, consent planning board lead agency to South Road Crossings and Valley Christian Church. 17, appoint Nicholas Cesari as deputy building inspector. 18, approve a bike run for suicide prevention. 19, waive the 30-day liquor license for the Wacky Cactus in the TCK Restaurant Group. 20, appoint Patricia Munini for building department clerk. 21, submission of a Climate Smart Communities grant application, a shared group with the county. 22, authorize special consents SC1 and SC2. SC1 is a Poughkeepsie Elks motorcycle rally. SC2 is our authorized Poughkeepsie Elks Club car show. And at that, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules on any comment on any item on the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody would like to discuss anything that's on the agenda for tonight? This is the time to speak up on anything on the agenda. Nobody? If not, motion to resume the rules.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Renihan.
Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby accept with regret the retirement of Jeannie Lewis, senior typist with the town of Poughkeepsie Police Department effective July 27th, 2019. So move.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions?
Captain Faber, how long was Jeannie, when did she start? Because she was there when I was there.
Started July 13th, 1979.
1979.
Yes.
Another longtime employee, as we said, they come, they stay, and her service has been fantastic.
This is an excellent member of police department. I remember the conversation where we thought she was going to retire, and the question is, how are we going to replace her? I've known her for 40 years, and this is an excellent employee. She's going to leave a big hole over there. I hope you guys are working hard to get somebody good there.
We have somebody she's training right now who's going to do very well.
Captain, thank you very much.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Jeannie, thanks for your service and enjoy your retirement.
Resolution 2, it be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby accept with regret the retirement of Kathleen Tabor, Assessor, with the Town of Poughkeepsie effective June 29th, 2019. So moved.
Second.
We have motion second. Any questions on this one?
Oh, we're going to miss, huh?
Again, another one that's got, I think, close to 30 years here. She started 33 years, and she'll be sorely missed. I mean, it's hard to fill these vacancies with people that have the history and the knowledge, but I think we have a good staff going forward that I think things will work out just fine.
Enjoy that retirement.
She'll be missed, that's for sure.
Especially
Earned
Kathy,
it.
because.
Enjoy it, Kathy.
Right, well, she says she's the most, as the tax assessor, the most hated woman in the town, so hang that hat up. And,
Well, she always smiled.
No longer.
right.
Yeah. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Good luck, Kathy. Enjoy
Be
your-
it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie, does hereby accept with regret the retirement of Timothy Berger, heavy motor equipment operator with the Town of Poughkeepsie Highway Department, effective June 29th, 2019. So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Mark, you can tell us how many years Timothy was there? 20 years. Again, another long-term employee. We can thank him for his service, and he was a diehard. If everybody doesn't know him, he was one over the summers that managed the summer crews that took care of all our roads and the sides and all intersections and stuff, if you saw him out and about. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Enjoy your almost retirement, Timothy.
Whereas on August 16, 2017, Paz Management Incorporated, as the contract vendee for the purchase of the former Raymond Avenue School located at 25 and 31 Raymond Avenue, tax parcels number 6161-12-755-735 and 6161-12-784-726, consisting of 6.8 acres, submitted a petition for a zoning map amendment and a zoning text amendment to designate a new anchor project district to allow the redevelopment of the former school site for a mixed-use project. And whereas on May 29, 2018, the Chazen Companies, on behalf of Paz Management Incorporated, amended the petition to propose only zoning text amendments for designation of a new anchor project in the use Arlington Town Center District, and submitted a revised proposed anchor project zoning text amendment in Arthur May School property redevelopment full environmental assessment form, together with project plans and supporting analysis. And whereas the September 26, 2018, and on July 1st, 2019, the Chazen Companies, on behalf of Paz Management Incorporated, submitted a revised proposed anchor project zoning text amendment in Arthur May School property redevelopment full environmental assessment form, together with project plans and supporting analysis. And whereas the proposed project, as revised, would include redevelopment of the site for approximately 196 plus or minus units, apartments with clubhouse amenities, 19,990 square feet of commercial space, 110 plus or minus room hotel, open area including outdoor seating, and 333 plus or minus parking spaces. And whereas the site is located in the Arlington Town Center District that currently allows a variety of residential and non-residential uses, and whereas the proposed zoning text amendments are designed to allow anchor projects that can serve as a catalyst for increased investment in the Arlington District, ATC District, and whereas the town board initially classified the project as an unlisted action under New York State Environmental Quality Review Act and its implementing regulations, 6 NCRR Part 16 of Seeker, but now classifies the project as a Type 1 action due to changes in the project and changes to the Seeker regulations. And whereas the project will also require site plan approval from the town planning board along with other permits and approvals from various local, regional, and state agencies, And whereas on June 6, 2018, the town board declared its intent to act as lead agency for a coordinated environmental review of the Raymond Avenue School redevelopment, a notice of said intent was duly circulated to all identified, involved, and interested agencies pursuant to 6 NYCRR Part 617, and no objection was received. Whereas on October 3, 2018, the town board reaffirmed its continued role as lead agency for a coordinated environmental review of the Raymond Avenue School redevelopment. A notice of intent was duly circulated to all identified, involved, and interested agencies pursuant to 6 NRCRR Part 617, and no objection was received. And whereas the Anchor Project zoning text amendments in response to December 15 through 17 comments by the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development were revised dated March 8, 2018 by Town Planning Department staff and Town Planning Consultant CPL in consultation with the Chazen Companies on behalf of Paz Management Incorporated and in consultation with the Town Planning Board through June 20, 2019, and was further revised dated July 3, 2019. Whereas the town board acknowledges receipt of a positive recommendation issued June 20, 2019 by the Town of Poughkeepsie Planning Board for a secret negative declaration for the project and for the proposed zoning text amendments to add the Anchor Project use to the ATC zoning district, and whereas the proposed zoning text amendments dated July 3, 2019 are annexed hereto as Exhibit A and incorporated herein if recited verbatim, and the words underlined to be added, and those words stricken to be deleted, and the town board does direct that said amendments be spread across the record as if they in fact had been read verbatim. And whereas the zoning text amendments require a public hearing, now therefore be it resolved that 1, the town board hereby sets a public hearing on the proposed zoning text amendments for August 21st, 2019 at 7 p.m., or as soon thereafter as the matter may come to be heard in the Town Hall, 1 Old Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York. And 2, the town board refers this matter to the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Economic Development for a recommendation pursuant to GML 239M. And 3, the town board directs the town clerk to provide public notice of the public hearing in accordance with section 210-156 of the town code, and to notify the town clerks of each of the surrounding municipalities of the public hearing pursuant to GML 239NN. And 4, the town board directs town staff to notify all involved and interested agencies of said public hearing and to provide them with revised project information, including the Anchor Project zoning text amendment and Raymond Avenue School redevelopment full environmental assessment form revised dated July 10th, 2019, and the latest site plan and renderings. And 5, the town board directs town staff to draft a seeker negative declaration for the town board's consideration. So moved.
Second. A motion second. Any questions on that one?
Before you vote, I think everybody got a revised set of documents indicating the last set of plans were the 3rd of July, not the 2nd. Okay. That's what you're voting on.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion.
I think we also noticed one technical issue, that there was sorry. I think that we had provided a while back, and we just noticed that there was an assignment of the entity. So it lists Paz Management, and at a certain point, we had worked with the school district to assign the entity to Arthur May Redevelopment LLC, and we noticed that it wasn't in there. We could provide you that specific date to include in that entity.
So what you want to do is to say Paz Management, Inc., now known as Arthur May Redevelopment?
Or it's assigned, and it was assigned to Arthur May Redevelopment LLC.
Okay. I think if the board assumes that that language is in there, we can make the correction.
Yeah. I can provide you the right paperwork.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So I'll second.
We need a separate motion to do that?
But you already voted, so why not amend it to incorporate the language suggested by Mr. Reckes?
All those in favor?
Second.
Aye.
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 Opposed? Correction passes 7-0.
Okay. Resolution 5,
Whereas orders to remedy, copies of which are attached hereto, have been issued for property located at 34 Gentry Bend, Town of Poughkeepsie, State of New York, pursuant to Chapter 159 of the Town of Poughkeepsie Town Code, and whereas said orders to remedy have not been complied with, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby set the 7th day of August 2019 at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, as and for the time, date, and place of a public hearing to consider a recommendation from the zoning administrator that the town or its contractor remove and as needed continue to remove all garden waste, fallen tree limbs, cut grass to a height not to exceed 6 inches, and maintain throughout the growing season all of the above property, so that it will not become overgrown and unsightly, all of the above property, the cost of which work shall constitute a lien and charge on the above real property until paid, satisfied, or discharged, and shall be collected in the same manner as other town charges. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions on this one?
Yeah, unfortunately, this is one that's in my ward, and it's really sad because this is a huge house somebody built and never finished. And it appears they've walked away from it, and they don't actually have a lawn. It's just kind of weeds and rocky. They never put in the lawn. But I guess the problem is right along the edge of the road is totally overgrown, and they did receive a complaint on this, so it's a pity because it's really not even that big of an area to clean up, so it's terrible they didn't take care of themselves. But nothing you can do.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Okay, whereas orders to remedy, copies of which attached hereto have been issued for the property located at 238 Innes Avenue, Town of Poughkeepsie, State of New York, pursuant to Chapter 159 of the Town of Poughkeepsie Town Code, and whereas orders to remedy have not been complied with, and now, therefore, be resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby set the 7th day of August, 2019, at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, as for the time, date, and place of a public hearing to consider a recommendation from the zoning administrator that the town or its contractor remove and, as needed, continue to remove all garden waste, fallen tree limbs, cut grass to a height not to exceed 6 inches, and maintain throughout the growing season all at the above property, so it will not become overgrown and unsightly, and remove all solid waste, debris, and litter, all of at the above property, the cost of which work shall constitute a lien and charge on the above real property until paid, satisfied, or discharged, and shall be collected in the same manner as other town charges. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Whereas orders of remedies, copies of which are attached hereto, have been issued for a property located at 1 Diane Court, Town of Poughkeepsie, State of New York, pursuant to Chapter 159 of Town of Poughkeepsie Town Code, and whereas said orders of remedy have not been complied with, now therefore be resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby set the 7th day of August, 2019, 7 p.m., Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 over Rock Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, as and for the time, date, and place of a public hearing or consider a recommendation from the zoning administrator that the town or its contractor remove and as needed continue to remove all garden waste, fallen tree limbs, cut grass to a height not to exceed 6 inches, and maintain throughout the growing season all at the above property, so it will not become overgrown and unsightly, all at the above property, the cost of which work shall constitute a lien and charge on the above real property until paid, satisfied, or discharged, and shall be collected in the same manner as other town charges. So moved.
Second.
The motion is second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Whereas an order remedy, a copy of which is attached hereto, has been issued for property located at 147 Fulton Street, Town of Poughkeepsie, State of New York, pursuant to Chapter 159A, mowing of occupied properties of the Town of Poughkeepsie Town Code, and whereas said order to remedy has not been complied with, now therefore be resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby set the 7th day of August, 2019 at 7 p.m. at Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, as and for the time, date, and place of a public hearing to consider a recommendation from the zoning administrator that the town or its contractor remove and as needed continue to remove all garden waste, fallen tree limb, cut grass to a height not to exceed 12 inches, and maintain throughout the growing season all at the above property, so it will not become overgrown and unsightly, all at the above property, the cost of which work shall constitute a lien and charge on the above real property until paid, satisfied or discharged and shall be collected in the same manner as other town charges. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Resolution 9, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby accept the certificate of attendance for Carl H. Whitehead, excuse me, from Cornell University, funded by the New York State Environmental Protection Fund through the NISDEC Hudson River Estuary Program for the course entitled Recognizing Habitats, a copy of which is attached. So moved.
Second?
Got motion second. Any questions on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Whereas the town of Poughkeepsie has been party to an intermunicipal agreement with the County of Dutchess, the IMA, to participate in the Regional County Highway Snow and Ice Control Program, the program, within the boundaries of the town through September 30th, 2019, and whereas the county has forwarded a change order relating to the IMA, which would extend for an additional year ending September 30th, 2020, with no change to the substantive or financial terms. Now therefore, be it resolved, the supervisor is authorized to execute said change order 17-0563-12/18-PW-A2, and Highway Superintendent Pfeiffer is hereby authorized to perform such work and to receive the materials and payments during the winter season of 2019-2020. And be it further resolved that this is a type 2 action requiring no secret review. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions on this? This is just a shared service with snow removal that instead of Mark's trucks just driving across the roads owned by the county, we'll now plow them. We've done this for, I think this is third year, Mark? Fifth year. And it's been going very well, and saves the county from having to hire extra employees to go out and do some of these routes that could be out of their way. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be it resolved, the Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby approved the private road names for identification purposes only for the Hudson Heritage Project on the former Hudson River Psychiatric Center property, 3532 North Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, as follows, and is shown on the annex map. 1, Winslow Gate Road, 2, Hudson Heritage Drive, and 3, Paint Shop Road. And be it further resolved that upon adoption of this resolution, said resolution shall be sent to the 911 facilities for Dutchess County by the Town Clerk of the Town of Poughkeepsie. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Resolution 12, be resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the supervisor to contract for the residential mowing and clipping removal, debris, and garbage removal with the lowest cost proposer, Tancredi Landscaping LLC, as outlined in the attached proposal form pursuant to the recommendation of the zoning administrator. And be it further resolved that contracts for these services are part of the ongoing administration of the town's affairs, which is a type 2 action requiring no secret review. Be it further resolved, the supervisor is authorized to execute a contract with Tancredi Landscaping upon receipt of the required insurance certificates. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions on this one? We went out to call for landscapers, Riverview, Lehigh, B&W, and Tancredi. Tancredi was the only one that responded, and Tancredi currently has our contract to do town hall. So he will be hopefully the one that'll be doing this. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Whereas the Hudson River Drinking Water Intermunicipal Council, Hudson 7, represents 7 municipalities that draw drinking water from the Hudson River, the towns of Esopus, Hyde Park, and Lloyd, the town and city of Poughkeepsie, and the town and village of Rhinebeck. And whereas the Hudson 7 formed on May 31st, 2018, to join forces to protect collective drinking water supply that serves over 100,000 people through planning, advocacy, and action. And whereas after a year of regular monthly meetings, the members are ready to build on their successful Hudson 7 partnership by hiring a coordinator to provide structural and educational support to the group, act as a liaison for the water supply protection planning process, and produce a strategic plan for the next 5 years to help implement water source protection and infrastructure goals. And whereas the coordinator's work plan will be in part to coordinate logistics for monthly meetings and work towards a drinking water source protection plan, increase capacity of H7 membership through education on key Hudson 7 issues. In other words, by organizing speakers for meetings such as risk of spills, pollution sources in watershed, land use planning to reduce future pollution, protection of streams and wetlands, increase the capacity of H7 by maintaining and strengthening membership and structure, assisting in research and outreach in timely issues, engaging additional partners, producing a 5-year strategic plan that integrates both water source protection priorities and drinking water infrastructure needs, and to form basis for direct action or grant proposals. And whereas a grant request will be made through the Department of Environmental Conservation, DEC, Hudson River Estuary Program, HREP, in the amount of $50,000 to pay a coordinator for 2 years, $25,000 per year, approximately 10 hours per week, as an initial investment. And whereas the town of Poughkeepsie has agreed to submit the grant application on behalf of the Hudson 7 by the deadline of July 9th, 2019, now therefore be resolved that we as representatives of the town of Poughkeepsie in the Dutchess County support the Hudson 7 strategic plan to protect Hudson River drinking water grant application and commit at least $550 per year in fund or in kind for 2 years, $1,100 total as a local match to the grant, and be further resolved, the implementation of this resolution does not commit the town of Poughkeepsie to any particular course of action and is therefore a planning initiative, which is a type 2 action under seeker. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions? I have one change. It should actually say, whereas the Village of Rhinebeck has agreed to submit the grant application, it's not the town of Poughkeepsie.
Okay, because I was also going to ask, was it done? Because that's a past date, July 9th.
Yeah. No, they hadn't filed the application yesterday, and we'll submit our letter of support tomorrow morning, have them send into it.
This Hudson 7, this is addressing a problem that's been near and dear to me since I came on this board. The Hudson River is a drinking water source. The mid-Hudson part of our river is a drinking water source, not a sewer place, not a garbage place, not a place to park oil barges. It's drinking water that everybody in this room drinks. This group has come together to do this, and this grant is to help with some kind of administrative person to help. It's a great step. I support this very much.
It's a step to also help any of the 7 work on getting grants and helping sponsor grants. We're hoping somebody will help us get the money going forward. They applied for it yesterday, and we'll send our piece in as a, it's being late.
Because you put the 7 municipalities together in this age of cooperation and joint working and all the things that you hear going on, here you have 7 communities, 100,000 people. Just think about the impact that would have if we asked the state for help with the sewer plants. Not just our sewer plants, but the whole Mid-Hudson region. If we take our drinking water from there, you can see the direct connection. That's how that's so important. I'm glad Franco did that thing. Thank you very much.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Speak. Whereas the Town of Poughkeepsie Town Board adopted the New York State Climate Smart Communities Pledge by resolution on April 18, 2018, and whereas Supervisor Baisley and Councilwoman Shershman have worked with town staff, the Town's Conservation Advisory Commission, and Cornell Cooperative Extension Dutchess County to review and understand the state's Climate Smart Communities program, and whereas the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation has encouraged the creation of local Climate Smart Communities Task Force to consider state suggestions, provide the town board with information about establishing and implementing climate smart initiatives, to report on work completed, to propose new ideas to the town board, and to identify funding sources for the projects and paybacks from investments. Now therefore be it resolved that by the town board, Town of Poughkeepsie, as follows, One, the Town of Poughkeepsie's Climate Smart Communities Task Force is hereby created, consisting of 8 persons to each serve a term of 2 years, with Susan Carnes Heck as chairperson and Shershin as liaison, and the following members to complete the task force as follows: Laura DiStefano, F. Joan Freeman, Richard Levine, Catherine Espinoza, Beverly Santero, and Stanley Merritt. 2, the task force shall initially work with Cornell Cooperative Extension, Dutchess County, to review the state's Climate Smart Communities Certification Action Checklist and identify actions that the town may already have completed, actions that are underway, and actions that the task force suggests that the town pursue. And 3, this resolution shall take effect immediately. So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions?
Yeah, I see Sue Heck is in the audience, and she did an excellent job keeping us on task and pushing this forward.
And she has a lot of enthusiasm, and I think as a chairperson, she's going to do a great job.
So, yeah,
Good luck, Susan.
yeah, now we just need to set up some meetings.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Good luck. And as of now, Kristen Gaynor will be the liaison as town staff.
Okay.
She's not mentioned because if things have to change, they may change, but Kristen will be the liaison for now.
I think we ended up, I think we ended up out of order. I'm glad to go, but
I'll go. Want me to go?
It was
I think it was supposed to be you and then we jumped
Yeah,
back.
Mike went when.
I looked at Jay, you looked at me.
Whereas the town received an application from Neems Partners LLC requesting a change of zoning for tax parcel number 134-689-61-59-01-120956 in the easterly portion of tax parcel number 134-689-6159-01-065967, known as Dutchess Dodge, Neems Way, located 2285, 2291 South Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, 12601, in the town of Poughkeepsie, consisting of approximately 5.2 acres of land from the R20 district to Highway Business District, and whereas the change of zone would involve a 5.2 acre site, and the action to amend the zoning map is an unlisted action in the New York State Environmental Review Act. And whereas the proposed amendment is attached hereto and incorporated herein, the town board does hereby waive a verbatim reading of said amendments and does direct that said amendment will be spread across the record as if it, in fact, had been read verbatim. Whereas the town planning board, as a designated lead agency, issued a negative declaration in regard to the project on June 20, 2019. And whereas that on June 20, 2019, the planning board issued a recommendation to approve the proposed change of zoning. Whereas that a written recommendation dated April 11, 2019 was received from the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development, and that said recommendation stated the adoption of the herein zoning amendment is a matter of local concern, whereas amending the zoning map requires a public hearing. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board sets public hearing on the proposed amendment for August 7, 2019, 7 p.m., or as soon thereafter as the matter may come to be heard in the town hall, 1 Over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York. 2, the town board directs the town clerk to make referrals per town code 210-155 and to provide for public notice of the public hearings per town code 210-156. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be it resolved, the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby consent to the town of Poughkeepsie Planning Board acting as a secret lead agency. Notice of intent paperwork can be found in the town clerk's office for the project known as South Road Crossings, 2611 through 2629 South Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, tax parcel number 6060-02-950800. So moved.
Second.
Had a motion second. Any questions on this one? This is the old Poughkeepsie Motor Inn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
16B, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby consent to the town of Poughkeepsie Planning Board acting as SECA lead agency. Notice of intent paperwork can be found in the town clerk's office for the project known as Valley Christian Church, 657 Sheaf Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, tax parcel 6159-01-278549. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions on this one? This is the old gymnastics on the beginning of Sheaf Road. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby appoint Nicholas Ciceri to the position of full-time deputy building inspector with the Town Building Department, grade 10, step 1, at the salary of $30.09 per hour, effective Monday, July 22nd, 2019, which appointment is subject to a probationary period of not less than 8 nor more than 26 weeks per civil service law, and be it further resolved that the town supervisor is authorized to execute and file all documentation required by the Dutchess County Department of Human Resources in connection with this appointment. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. Welcome aboard.
Be resolved, the Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie has heretofore received an application from Angelo D. Angelo on behalf of the DDD Foundation for Suicide Prevention to hold its annual David D. Angelo Memorial Bike Run for Suicide Prevention to be held on Sunday, July 28th, 2019, and be it resolved that the Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the application for said fundraiser bike run, and that the town clerk is in receipt of a certificate of liability insurance, naming the Town of Poughkeepsie as additional insured. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
19A, be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby acknowledge receipt of a request on behalf of Wacky Cactus LLC, 46 Vassar Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, for a waiver of the 30-day review period for a liquor license application, and be it further resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the town clerk's forwarding of a waiver and consent pursuant to the attached request. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby acknowledge receipt of a request on behalf of TCK Restaurant Group, Inc., Crew, 2290-2 South Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, for a waiver of 30-day review period for a liquor license application, and be further resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the town clerk's forwarding of a waiver and consent pursuant to the attached request. So moved.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Be it resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does appoint Patricia Manuni to the position of full-time clerk, grade 4, step 1, with the Town Building Department, to salary of $18.79 an hour, effective Monday, July 29th, 2019, which appointment is subject to a probationary period of not less than 8 nor more than 26 weeks per civil service law. Be it further resolved, the town supervisor is authorized to execute and file all documentation required by the Dutchess County Department of Human Resources in connection with this appointment. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Welcome aboard.
Municipal resolution authorizing an application for a New York State Climate Smart Communities Grant. Whereas the Town of Poughkeepsie hereby requests financial assistance from the New York State Climate Smart Communities Grant Program pursuant to Environmental Conservation Law, Article 54, Title 15. And whereas Town of Poughkeepsie certifies that it has identified and secured a minimum of $10,782.08 in matching funds from donated professional services from the Town of Poughkeepsie staff and volunteer time contributed to the Climate Action Planning Institute, Dutchess County project pursuant to the requirements of Environmental Conservation Law, Article 54, Title 15. The balance of the match needed to meet New York State DEC CSC grant requirement of 50% will be contributed by other participating Dutchess County municipalities. Now therefore be resolved that the Town of Poughkeepsie hereby authorizes Dutchess County to act on its behalf in submittal of an application through the Consolidated Funding Application for up to $100,000 to be used for the Climate Action Planning Institute, Dutchess County. So move.
Second.
Got a motion second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. And I think we're one of, 7 towns are now on board on this.
Resolution 22. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby grant special consent to the following items, to wit: authorize the Poughkeepsie Elks Club Motorcycle Rally, submitted by Town Clerk Salvatore. Second, authorize Poughkeepsie Elks Club Car Show, authorized by the Town Clerk Salvatore. And be it further resolved that upon objection of any member of the Town Board, an item may be removed from the list and voted on separately. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions on those two? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 7-0.
Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the application submitted by Norm Dennis on behalf of the Poughkeepsie Elks Club to hold a motorcycle rally for cerebral palsy on Sunday, July 14th, 2019, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Poughkeepsie Elks, 29 Over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, and be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the application as submitted for said event, that the town clerk is in receipt of a certificate of liability insurance naming the Town of Poughkeepsie as additional insured. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 7-0.
Be resolved, the Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby approve the application submitted by Norm Dennis on behalf of the Poughkeepsie Elks Club to hold a car show on Sunday, July 28, 2019, 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the Poughkeepsie Elks property, 29 Over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, and be it further resolved that the Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the application as submitted for said event contingent upon receipt by the town a certificate of liability insurance naming the Town of Poughkeepsie as an additional insured. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 7-0. That brings us to the end of our meeting. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules for any item at all to discuss in relation to the town.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there anything anybody would like to bring up at all in relation to the town? No? If not, make a motion to resume the rules.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
8:35. Thanks, everybody, and have a great night.